Hey, college coaches. This is Coach Anthony Williams, founder and CEO of Connected Athletics. We are a startup company based here in Austin, Texas. We are focused on using technology to help student athletes successfully transition from high school to college and then into a career once their eligibility and their football days are over. Right now, we're focused on helping student athletes better connect with other student athletes that they meet and build out their network as they're going through the recruiting process. And then the podcast is specifically focused on helping student athletes connect with college coaches during this very interesting COVID-19 recruiting cycle that we're in right now. And so today we have a very special prospect on the podcast with us today. I saw this young man last year as a freshman. He just blew me away with his ability, and especially the state championship game last year. Jaden Greathouse is a class of 23 wide receiver at Westlake High School here in Austin, Texas. He is 6'3". Weighs 215 pounds. He's got a very strong GPA of 3.5. He was named the newcomer of the year last year. He was first team All-American. He was a 6A champion. He's done it all in just his first year. Got 3 more to go. Jaden, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great, man. Thanks for taking time out of your day to tell us your story about you and your goals and your family. Let's jump right in. The first thing college coaches want to know about is your academics. Tell these coaches about the importance you put on your academics.
I put a lot of emphasis on my academics, always having my notes around, making sure that I know the right information, asking my teachers for help, and just trying to keep straight A's at all times.
Okay. Hey, what are some of your favorite classes that drive your
GPA? Probably history. I've always loved history, and then probably science. I'm in chemistry right now, so I've always seemed to love those 2 subjects more.
Okay. Hey, are there any favorite teachers or tutors or APs or coaches that have helped you academically in your last year at Westlake?
My mom. She doesn't teach at Westlake, but she's a teacher down at the middle school, so she's able to help me with science and all that stuff.
Okay, good stuff. Hey, I know you're 3 years away from college, but have you thought about what you might want to major in when you get to college?
I've had an idea, probably an art major. I love to draw, so
Okay.
That would probably be my first choice.
Are you more paint or sketch, or what kind of artist?
Sketch. I like to draw cartoons.
Okay, all right. Anime or just regular,
Yeah.
non-anime?
Just regular, whatever I can think of.
Okay, that's nice. That's the first. You're the first player to ever mention that. That's pretty interesting. Hey, another thing that coaches want to understand is your learning style. Tell us, do you consider yourself more of a verbal, visual, or hands-on learning style?
I'd say I'm more of a hands-on learning style. All this Zoom learning and all that is a little bit of a challenge for me, but I'm taking it step by step and just trying to the best I can.
Okay, that makes sense. Hey, I know once again, still 3 years of high school left, but have you and your mom talked about your criteria for what will help you select which school that you'll eventually commit to over the next 3 years?
We haven't really talked about it much. All this is just so new to us. We don't have the best understanding of everything so far.
Okay, no, that's fair. You'll learn a lot more here coming up here pretty soon. Once again, you're just not going into your sophomore year. Hey, let's switch over to learning more about you personally. Tell us when you're not working out. I know you play basketball, but when you're not working out, you're not playing your sport. What are your interests? What are your hobbies? Do you like to fish, hunt, be out in the lake? What do you like to do in your spare time?
Hang out with friends, one, and then I like to game. I game a lot.
Okay.
And then drawing too. Drawing.
Okay.
I love to draw.
What are some of your favorite video games?
Duty, 2K, and Madden.
Okay. Well, it begs the question: are you giving L's? Or are you taking L's?
I'm giving L's.
Every player says the same thing. Like nobody ever loses. Hey, tell us once again. Coaches are going to want to connect with you over the next 3 years here through social media where recruiting is taking place. Are you mostly a Twitter guy, Instagram, TikTok? What do you spend most of your time in for social media?
I do not run my Twitter.
Okay.
I have TikTok, but I don't post anything. I just like to watch the videos.
Yeah, me too. I
Um,
understand.
and then I run my Instagram,
Okay.
but
Good
I'm not
stuff.
really using it as to promote myself, more as just another platform to have.
Yeah, understood. Hey, tell us also personally music taste. Who are some of your favorite artists? What kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to a lot of rap, Lil Baby especially.
Hmm.
He's my favorite. Has been for a while.
Okay. Tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about, do you have a favorite author or actor or actress that you kind of look up to?
Um, I don't have a favorite author, but I do have a favorite book. It's called The Scourge. I
Okay.
read that a little while ago, and it's still been my favorite. Um, and I don't think I really have a favorite actor or actress.
Okay. Fair enough. Tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about, I call this my dream scenario question. Let's say you have a great 3 or 4 years in college and you find yourself at the NFL draft. Who is sitting at your table with you waiting for the commissioner to call your name?
Um, First of all, my family.
Okay.
Um, uh, and probably one or two of my closest friends.
Okay. Good stuff. Hey, I know we're trying to
Yeah.
come out of this COVID-19. You mentioned it earlier about this virtual learning environment. When you do eventually get back on campus, what's your shoe game looking like? Are you a big shoe guy or no?
Not really. I'm getting into a lot more nicer shoes lately. But I used to just wear like regular Nikes or Adidas, just whatever I thought looked good.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Tell us, I tell you about, community. College coaches want to know if a player is actively giving back to their community. What do you do in the Westlake community to give back? Are you part of your church? Are you doing a nonprofit? What are you doing to give back?
Well, once we're allowed to go back to church, I'll start going to that probably every Sunday.
Okay, good stuff. And then what about giving back as far as helping? I know you're just not going into your sophomore year, but helping some of the middle school kids that are going to feed into the Westlake program, and maybe even some of the incoming freshmen. What are you doing to help them successfully transition coming up into this school year?
Yeah, if we're allowed to go back to school, if I ever see a freshman who's looking for his classes or something, I'd be glad to help him, or kind of help, because I know for uh, my first year of high school is definitely a struggle. So I don't really want anyone to have to struggle like that, like how I did. So if
Yeah.
ever I see anyone who needs help, then I'll just give them a little bit of advice or something.
Okay. Tell us, Jaden, how do you define leadership, and then how do you plan on leading as a sophomore on the football team this season?
Being vocal and leading by example. Whatever my coaches say to do, I do it, and be like a second voice to my coaches. Because obviously you have like the quarterbacks and all the seniors who usually take on the leader role, but I want to be the guy who's telling everyone like what to do and how to do it, and just being the coach's right hand man.
Your freshman season, you pulled off the double that most freshmen dream about. You're playing on varsity and you win a state championship. Tell us what that experience was like as a freshman at Westlake last year.
It was incredible. It was definitely a struggle, but I had great supporting cast. My teammates and coaches were always there to help me, especially the senior class. There were a lot of mentors to me, um, just teaching me the Westlake way and all our traditions and how our culture is, and basically just everything that Westlake football players should do.
Jaden, tell us, a lot of players look at Westlake, Lake Travis, some of the more successful programs in the state of Texas. They're like, man, I wish I was playing at that school. Talk about the pressure of playing at a storied program where winning or losing is not an option, where you're expected not only win district, but go 3 and 4 levels deep in the playoffs. What's that pressure like to play in that kind of environment?
I try not to listen to the outside noise. The only really pressure I think of having is doing well for my teammates and coaches. we all have a standard that's set for us inside the locker room. So we just focus on that instead of all the standards that are outside of the locker room, because that stuff isn't as important as putting on for your teammates and coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. I've known your quarterback, Kate Copeland, since he was a middle school kid coming to my camps back in the day. Tell us what it's like to have one of the top quarterbacks in the country throwing you the ball going into your sophomore year.
It's exciting. Me and Kate have played 7-on-7 ever since I was in 6th grade. So I'm just so excited to get out there and catch some balls and make some big plays with him.
Good stuff. Hey, real quick, switching over to recruiting now. Obviously we're still trying to come out of the COVID-19 pandemic, but tell these coaches what you've been doing to stay in shape in preparation for practice starting next week.
Working out 2 to 3 times a day, every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Going out and throwing with a couple of receivers and quarterbacks, and just going on runs, trying to stay in shape and eat healthy.
That's good stuff. You've got tremendous size as a freshman already going into your sophomore year. Tell these coaches, what do you consider your strengths, and what are some of the things you're working on going into your sophomore season?
Working on would pretty much be everything. You can never settle for just being good enough. You always have to try to be better than anyone else, because you never know who's out there trying to come for your spot. So you always have to work on everything. I think one of my strengths is going up and getting a high ball, my physicality, and my in-game speed.
Yeah, definitely. No, I saw you play last couple of games, semifinal and the final game, and 50-50 balls are yours, and you just go up and get them, which is great. Tell us, we mentioned your size, 6'3", 215. Where is that size coming from? How tall your mom, your dad? It's coming from your grandparents? Where's that great size coming from?
My dad is 6'4", my mom's 6'3".
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm about 6'3", 209 now. Just been going on a ton of runs and working on my speed with my speed coach, so that I'm not just a tall guy, but I'm also a quick and speedy guy.
Is your mom and dad at that height, were they also student athletes back in the day, or no?
Yes, my mom played basketball in college, and my dad played baseball.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. And
Yeah.
then, you being 6'3", 205 right now, as going to your sophomore year, it begs the question, what do you think your height and weight will be when you graduate in 3 years?
Who knows? If I feel like I need to gain weight, then I'll try to, do whatever I can to do that. And if I feel like I'm good where I'm at, then I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. But whatever I feel I play best at, I'll just keep that same weight and height and just build off of that.
Well, based on your parents' height and maybe your grandparents, do you think you've got another couple of growth spurts, or you think you're pretty much done?
I think I have 1 or 2 more inches on me.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Hey, obviously, there's a lot of high school players that want to play this game in college, but the numbers and the data says only 8% of high school players will play at some level of college football. Tell these college coaches why you will be part of that 8%. What do you bring that hey, I'm going to be able to play in college?
I'm super hardworking. I don't feel like I should ever be outworked by anyone. I feel kind of embarrassed if I feel like somebody's working harder than me or performing better than me, and I just am super competitive. I hate losing. I hate it. I don't ever want to lose, so I'm always out there trying to give it a 100% and never letting anyone outwork me. And I feel like that's my best trait.
It's a great trait to have, and it's good because there's a lot of I recruit nationally for the All-American game, for the National Combine. There's a lot of good receivers, as you know, in the class 23. Tell these coaches what separates you from the other really good receivers in this class.
Hardworking, physicality, height, speed is getting there. I've gotten a lot faster. my route running, and just working on everything that I can do to get better. I
Gotcha.
feel like
Sounds good.
working with a ton of trainers to get to the level where I want to be, and I'll never be satisfied where I'm at.
Okay. You mentioned trainers. Shout out who you working with for your trainers, or who you working with on your speed and your route running, things like that. Who are they?
I'm working with for my speed coach. I'm working with a coach named Royce Dennis, and then for my receivers coach, I'm working with Jackson Shipley.
Jackson Shipley, very good friend of ours. My son Aaron played with Jackson and Jordan at University of Texas. Jackson does a tremendous job, one of the best receiver coaches out there, so that's great to hear.
Yeah.
Hey, college coaches also always want to know about your relationship with your high school coaches. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with your position coach and Coach Dodge, the head coach at Westlake.
Great. Ever since day one. They're looking for high motor guys who can take on the leader responsibility. And our positions coach said that he needs me to be a leader, and that's who I'm trying to be. Always trying to be the second voice, and saying whatever the coach is saying, telling everyone to do what the coach is doing, and making sure that everyone's following directions.
Good. That's good to hear. Hey, Jay, do you have a preference real quick? Would you prefer to go to college here in state, or do you mind going to any program across the country?
Any program. Haven't really thought about it too much, but I'm sure as we get down the line, I'll have to pick and choose. So wherever I feel most comfortable at, wherever I feel like I can have the greatest impact at.
Good. That's a great answer. I
And
like that.
potentially go to the next level.
Yep. Hey, is there a certain receiver at the college or pro level that you look up to, that you like to pad your game off of? Who is that?
I love to watch Julio Jones. He's my favorite player. That's who I try to model my game after. Physical and athletic wide receiver, and that's who I try to be.
Yeah, that's a great example. Julio and my son worked out together getting ready for the 2011 draft, and we got to know Julio and his family really good. He's a great example of somebody who doesn't just rely on their athletic ability. He is a grinder. I love and respect his game, and obviously he's having a great career in the NFL. Hey, another thing coaches want to know about is, playing football is all about overcoming adversity, working with the highs and lows that happen during a game. Tell us about a time in your life, either personally or dealing with football, where you had to overcome some type of adversity.
A couple games last season, I wasn't really having the best. There's a best performance. There's like 2 or 3 games that I just wasn't, playing at the level that I thought I could be playing at. It was the last game of district, then the first round of playoffs, and the second round. And my teammates just rallied around me and just helped me out through practices, and coaches started coaching me, and just the supporting cast that I had around me really helped me. So then the third or fourth round of playoffs, I had about 2 touchdowns. So just everyone around me was just so helpful and really believed in me.
Sounds like the lesson you learned is that in football, there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. It's managing those highs and lows and just keep grinding, and things will work out. Is that something you learned from that?
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Yep.
Hey, tell us a little bit about, coaches need to understand, do you love playing football, and why?
I always have loved football. It's always been my favorite. I started playing when I was in like 2nd grade. I started playing flag football, and I just fell in love with the game. Went to a ton of competitive tournaments, and it was like no other experience. And then I started playing 7-on-7, and I fell in love even more. And then I finally got to tackle in 7th grade, and it was like, wow, this is like I'm really experiencing the whole thing, and it was just incredible.
Well, Jay, we talked about it earlier, great size, 6'3", 205. I know I've seen some clips of you online that you play basketball. What other sports do you play at Westlake?
I was going to do track last year, but I couldn't get a ride to the practices, so I'm hoping I can do it this year.
Okay. And then you're pretty schooled in basketball. Is that something you're thinking about maybe trying to play at college level too, or are you just you happy with playing AAU and basketball at Westlake now?
I think I'm just happy with playing AAU in basketball. You never know what could happen, so college could be a possibility, but right now I'm really focused on football.
Okay, that's good to know. I'm sure Coach will want to know that. We talked about earlier, but one thing Coach want to know about is your competitive spirit. Tell these coaches about your competitive nature and what drives you as a player.
Yeah, I hate losing. Even in practices, losing to my teammates. When we do one-on-ones, I'm always beating myself if I feel like I didn't win as well as I could have on that last rep, or if I didn't win at all. And always listening to whatever the coach is telling me on how to like fix it the next play so that I do better.
Awesome. Hey, as we finish up here, you and I talked about before at the start of the interview about the elevator pitch. As we finish up, tell these college coaches why they should recruit you and what you're going to bring to their program in 3 years.
I feel like I can bring a hardworking kid who's coachable, ready to learn, and do whatever they need from me. I feel like I have a dog mentality where whatever I want, I'm going to get and work hard for. So if I feel like I can do something, then I'm going to work as hard as I can to achieve that goal.
That's good stuff, man. Well, Jaden, I've enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better. Please continue to be safe in this COVID-19 environment. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the sidelines here pretty soon. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know, okay?
Okay.
All right, and tell your mom I said
Thank
hi,
you.
and thanks for taking the time out for us, okay?
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.